Hi, this is Pastor Pius Dube from Center of Praise International, coming to you this morning on a beautiful Saturday with a Dube kick. I have a quick message that I want to give to you, found on Mark chapter 4, verse 38, where we are being told that Jesus went into the hinder part of the ship and he fell asleep on the pillow. The disciples went to him to awake him. They said, Master, carest not that we perish. The Bible records that he arose and he rebuked the wind. He said, Peace be still. And there was great calm. I want to say to you, child of God, don't take the presence of the storm to indicate the absence of God. I know there are all sorts of storms that we face. There are emotional storms, financial storms, health storms. There are all sorts of storms, undetectable storms. I'm not talking about natural storms, where water comes out and lightning and thunder comes out. Those are dictatable storms. Whenever you're going through a visible storm, someone can come to you and hand you an umbrella or give you a ride to bail you out of the storm. There will always be someone who will be there to help you out. But there are silent storms, invisible storms where nobody can see, undetectable storms. When you go through an undetectable storm, that's when you tend to feel like you are all alone and you can't see a way out of the storm. I say to you, it is at that time when you are in an undetectable storm that nobody can see, that you really need to hold strong to your faith. Because you can be in a storm and people around you will not even realize that you are facing your roughest storm ever in your life. They'll be jealous of your car that you drive, not realizing that it's actually 3 months behind the payment. They'll be jealous of the job that you have, not realizing that you can't cope. You are surviving each night on pills just to fall asleep. They'll be jealous of your marriage that you have, not realizing that it is a living nightmare that you are in, because they really can't see the storms that you are in. You wake up in the morning and you put your makeup on, you get your hair up, and you put your smile on just like you put your makeup on, and they see you smiling and walking strong and tall, but not realizing that you have to put it on because you are going through a storm. And it is at that time when Job says, I looked for him and I couldn't see him. I searched for him from my right hand side, couldn't see him. From my left hand side, couldn't trace him. I say to you, when you are in a storm, sometimes it feels like God is undetectable. But I want to say to you, you are not supposed to see in a storm. That's why he said to you, you ought to walk by faith and not by sight. Because you are not supposed to see clear in a storm. It is your faith that becomes your eyes in your storm. Your faith becomes your vehicle out of your nightmare. Because you cannot see in a storm. But just because you cannot see in a storm does not indicate that God is absent in your life. He did not jump out of the boat because the storm has started raging. He's right there with you. He is your present help in times of trouble. He promised not to leave you nor forsake you. And whenever God makes a promise, I need to say this to you, child of God, that he will never promise the obvious. When I make a promise, I don't promise the obvious. I promise because I realize that there is a benefit of doubt, an element of doubt that will creep in whatever it is that I'm promising you to do or perform. And when God promises not to leave you, and I heard him say clear that when you go through the storms, I will be with you. When you go through the fire, I will be with you. He would have not have said that if he knew that his presence will be appearing. He knew that when I go through the storm, I will not be able to see him, trace him, or even understand, fully fathom what God is up to concerning my life. But I say to you, child of God, it is at that time when you can't trace God that you need to grow in faith and just hold on into the promises that he gave you. Whatever it is that God has promised over your life, you need to hold on to it, because he will never promise what is unable to perform or fulfill over your life. He doesn't promise the obvious. He promises because he knows that there will come a moment of doubt. He promises because he knows that there will be a moment where the storm wants to knock you out. But I say to you, move your eyes from what feels like and what looks like and fix your eyes on the promises of God. He promised you that he will make you the head and not the tail. Now fix your eyes on that. When you are in the storm, when you are in the roughest moment of your life, fix your eyes on the promises of God. Because if you can look at God, you will always be on the right path of your life. He doesn't promise the obvious. If you want to see God doing his best work, you need to know that there will always be trouble. Because when God gives you promise, you must wait for trouble. Trouble will come when God gives you promise. Champion, right where you are. I know you feel like giving up. I know you feel tired. You're exhausted. You're drained. You've been beaten, tossed through and fro. But I say to you, don't lose heart. God is with you right in the storm. He's with you. He's just in the boat and it feels like he's asleep. And the devil says he's left you. He's jumped out. He didn't jump out. He's right there with you. And you are a champion. You will survive because God has made you a survivor. Remember, this is Pastor Pius Dube from Center of Praise, who comes to you with an encouraging word. I'm looking forward to meet with you on Joyous Radio, the internet radio that restores our hearts and comforts our souls. I'll be live streaming from 9 to 12. You just have to go on the internet and type Joyous Radio. You will meet me there. Then meet the Kicking Zebra every Friday, 9 to 12. We'll be starting our weekend with a powerful kick of a zebra. I love you, and I'm looking forward to interact with you. Center of Praise International is found at Corner Esselen Street and Banquet Street in Hebrew. Our services start at 9:30 to 12:30. If you can make your way there, we will love to see you and just fellowship with champions and see your life change for the better, becoming stronger than your attacks. I say to you, there's no powerful punch from the enemy that will knock you down. You are a champion. In the storm, God gives you strength to survive, and he gives you a song to sing. Remember who you are, a champion.